It's your boy, Comfort Consultant 847 out here in Waukegan. So currently we've got a 80%, 160,000 BTU boiler. It's outputting 130. It's about 50 years old, so we're probably down to around 90, I would guess. As far as what needs to be done on this job, it's a little tricky, but as you can see, I mean, it's a fairly, I wish I can get you more room. These phones are not great for that. Here's our work area. Right, and as you can see, there's not a ton of piping and stuff going on. It is a 3-zone, obviously, which is a little special. But some of the other boilers we've done in the last 2 weeks have been much more complicated. You guys have done a great job, so I know this will be very simple for you. We do have access through this nice large door here, and then we would be going up the stairs here, giving us plenty of access straight through. As far as what needs to be done, so some of the stuff is done a little screwy. They've teed the feed out, ran one into the blow off here into the supply, one into the supply, and one into our valve here into our T with our pump. So the kind of special stuff. This pump number 3 is dead, so we will be replacing pump number 3 as well as relay number 1, which is number 1 right here, as you can see. Those are what's dead so far. I do see some oil dripping off of what looks to be pump number 2, but it does look fairly new. It looks like new motor, older pump. So there's no isolation on here. So typically any repairs that have been done have been just motor replacements instead of the whole pump, which is fine. Obviously this one's still in great shape, but we've got a dead 3 over here. So what we really want to do on this is a couple special things. Obviously we're going to replace that 3rd pump. We're going to eliminate all of this garbage here. If we want to reuse this whole setup here, that's doable. We will cut back here, reuse kind of most of this, and just kind of redo everything from the bottom up to redo our new pump. What we will want to do is on all 3 of these, which we have 1 inch, 1 inch and a half, put your valves in and a bleeder, obviously, so we can power bleed this system for you guys. Otherwise, this is going to take quite a while. It is a 3-story. And they have no isolation at all at the moment. So we want to add that in to be able to make sure that this doesn't become an issue in the future. So definitely want to have that taken care of. I will quote in to possibly have this pump redone as well. Let's see what we want to do, because it does look like there's some oil on there. God forbid. Becomes an issue in the future. So we do need a new gas shutoff here, and obviously all our controls will be pretty simple. Basically, we're going to chop all these, put our valves and our blow bleeders in, redo this whole setup since we're redoing the whole pump anyway. And chop most of this out. As far as the feeds, we're going to chop both of those. I would probably take this off here and cap it somewhere here, because as we can see, our feed comes into our boiler here on the supply, but it also runs somewhere else, which means, you know, we're supplying something else, I suppose. So either we can just put a 90 in here if we want to sweat all this off, or cap, make sure that we're nice and sealed off. As far as this freshwater feed, we're going to bring that into our air eliminator tank and all that setup over here. So we're going to want to run everything on the side of the boiler. Our supply comes up here. So we'll probably take this bad boy off. It is 1 inch and I want to say 1.5 inches. I will confirm and put that in the email for you guys. Doesn't look like 1.25 inches to me. I believe it's 1.5 inches. Yeah, no labels. So we'll probably take this nipple up to the T, bring down as much as you guys like, or do copper. Bring everything from this side over, put our air eliminator tank and feed water in all right here, and then run it over for our supply across and up. Obviously, again, we want a valve on there so we can isolate this system, but it's all pretty simple stuff. So really, we just come out with our supply, do our whole air eliminator tank setup, bring our feed in, bring that over to the supply, and then for these 3, we add our valves and our bleeders, valves on there to make sure we got some ease of it. Cap this bad boy over there to make sure that feed is all set. Replace this pump, replace this here. We're pretty much all set to go. So with the gas, obviously we need that, but that's pretty simple stuff. The tank is up in the ceiling right now, so it is a newer one. Obviously there's no issues with that, but I'd say let's give him another one just in case to add some years to it. The one thing is with the power, we do have an old school Wadsworth 20 in this bad boy, supplying not only the boiler, but the relays as well. We got a timer here, okay. And then we do have an old Pushmatic. This one here, 18, is ours, which is a 15 amp Pushmatic, supplying the whole system. And then we do have a 20 amp here, which it's fine. So it's all pretty straightforward and simple. It definitely wouldn't hurt to scooter over just a little bit if we can. I know obviously with this piping here, it's going to be a little tricky, but just for room, they did add an access door on this side as well to get their new water heater in, so it's definitely not the biggest deal in the world. This here would be 7 inches, yep. So we're a 7-inch round on our flue currently, so we will want to get a little reducey on there for our new guy, I'm sure. I'll double check that. Obviously at a 125 they may be 7-inch, so we'll double check that as well. So if there's any other comments, questions, concerns, please reach out. I know this is a little bit of an extensive one. It's not as tough as it looks. I know you guys will do great with it. So if you guys have anything at all, please reach out. I'm Comfort Consultant 847, and thank you guys so much for everything you do.